Hi. I decided to do this video standing up. Maybe it'll give me a little bit more energy. I seem very relaxed in my videos because I'm lounging back in my chair. You guys seem to really like the creeped out videos, sometimes more than the haunting hour videos, which is very weird to me, but okay. One of the most requested episodes of Creeped Out is The Many Places, which is okay with me because I love that episode. It was pitched to me in the comments a lot by, the Backrooms. It's pretty much the Backroom. And you're not wrong. It is kind of like the Backrooms in a sense that it's just an endless hallway of doors and elevators, and it's very creepy. And not only is it an endless hallway of doors and elevators, but there is something lurking in the dark. All right, let's get into it. So we start the episode out with the curious, of course. Love this little guy. And he's jumping on a bed with a bunch of coins on it. She talks about the feeling of being lost and how a lot of strange things seem to happen while you're lost. And she ends the monologue by saying,
"In the search for a way out, you find many interesting things you weren't looking for."
Next, we meet the family, and they're coming to Australia for a little vacation. Little do they know that summer in Australia, it rains a lot. And we also learned that their dad is pretty stupid.
Why is it raining? This is Australia. It's summer. It's not supposed to be raining.
What is it supposed to do? It's not supposed to rain while you're there? Is it just like a magical land? Is Australia a magical land? We also learned that the brother is a little stupid too.
Everything's upside down here.
Next, we get to meet the siblings, and their names are Nina, Jet, and Max. Nina is the older sister, Jet is the brother, and Max is the younger sister. We see that Nina is getting a little bit older now, and she doesn't really want to play with her sister.
Boboski Watson. Boboski Watson.
Okay, that's all sorted.
What's Boboski Watson? Is that like a British thing? I've never even heard of Boboski Watson. Because she's now interested in boys. Woo, baby. We also learned that Jet is a little stupid.
The air here smells like nostril breath.
What is nostril breath? Max is a little bored and she wants to entertain herself, so she decides it's a good idea to go inside the elevator and push all of the buttons. And she almost succeeds in doing this, but she gets stopped by a weird old man. He stops her and tells her that bad things happen to kids that press all of the buttons. He tells her that the Quinkin will come for you. What is a Quinkin, you ask? You'll find out if you stick to the end of the video. This obviously scares Max, but luckily she gets saved by the store clerk that tells him that he's not allowed to use the customer elevator, which is very funny to me.
Got lost.
The rest of the family get inside the elevator, and when the father turns around, he turns around to see that Nina is getting a boy's number. I don't want to talk about him having Riz, because he's probably 14. They make it to the hotel room, and Nina and Max are arguing. Nina wants to get dressed to go to the pool so she can hang out with that boy, and Max just wants to go in because it's her room, her stuff is in there. And all this is happening while Jet is flipping through the channels with the volume turned all the way up, so it's just a pure chaos for the parents. And not only is Nina being mean to Max, she also scuffed Max's favorite black shoes. But they get in trouble by their mom, and Nina wins the argument. Max is upset that Nina is now older and she's no longer fun. They used to play together all the time. They used to hang out and be the best sisters ever. They used to put on little theatrical plays for her parents. But now she's just boring and wants to talk to nasty boys. Ew! But her dad tells her that she's just growing up. It's a part of growing up, and that it'll happen to her too.
Even him.
Maybe not him.
The parents tell Nina that she's only allowed to go to the pool if she brings the siblings, which she does not want to do. So on the way to the pool, she tells them that they're not allowed to hang out with her at all.
When we get there, you stay away from me, okay? I'm at one end of the pool and you're at the other.
And then we get another instance of Jet being a little stupid. On top of him wearing a VR headset in the hallways for no reason, he knocks down a picture that's sitting on a table. And because of him, I'm going to be wearing this for the rest of the video. I think this is cutting circulation off to my brain. Knocks over the picture, but he picks it up and puts it back on the table upside down. And his excuse is,
It's hanging rock. It's hanging.
I'm not committing to this bit. I cannot deal with that. I'll put it right here on my head like he does. Wow, this is gonna give me a major headache. Max lets her intrusive thoughts win, and she presses every button to the elevator. There has to be a way to make those things lighter. That thing is like 50 pounds, which causes the elevator to shake very, very badly. But when it stops, the kids seem to be okay. And Max's excuse for pressing all the buttons is,
The lights look pretty.
the doors open and they're not in the lobby like they want to be, so they decide to go ahead and just leave it and take the stairs. As they walk down the hallways, they can't seem to find the stair, so they decide to just go ahead and head back to the elevator. They might as well just see if they can reset it there. But when they head back towards the elevator, it is gone. The kids notice that there are no stairs and all the doors don't have signs.
No toilet, which I could really use right now.
And I guess there are no restrooms if there aren't any rooms, so. Max has a pretty good idea. She decides to try to use one of the room phones to call for help, but when she opens the door, it's just another hallway. With a cool dolly zoom. I like the dolly zoom. Understandably freaked out, the kids start opening every door they can to see if they can find any sort of room so they can call for help. But every single door they open is just more hallways. Jet and Max are starting to get a little rattled and freaked out, and Jet thinks that they're dead and they're in purgatory.
Are we dead? No one's dead. Everyone stop talking. I need to think.
This would be the worst purgatory ever. I just want to point that out. I would hate to be just stuck in hallways. But Nita has a pretty good plan. They just need to find an elevator and they can find their way out of this place. And that's about the time my mic got disconnected and I didn't notice. Right after Nita offers this plan up, they start hearing a noise.
What was that?
They hear faint roars coming from the distance, which makes the already freaked out kids more freaked out. Max is super panicked about this, and she actually connects the dots that the roar comes from the Queenkin. And the Queenkin is a monster that the Boiler Man told her about. And this is when Nita has kind of a sweet sister moment where she calms her sister down by telling her to sit down and breathe, and then they play that patty cake game that she wanted to play earlier. But while they're doing their patty cake game, it gave the monster enough time to catch up to them. This absolutely freaks Max out, so she runs away and gets separated from her siblings. So not only are the kids now lost in an infinite hallway, Max is uber lost because she is separated from her siblings. We then get one of the cooler scenes in this episode where they use different shots of like different angles to show how confusing this hallway thing is. Max is just standing still and spinning around in circles, but you can feel how confused and lost she is by just this scene right here. They did a really good job with that one. I really enjoyed that. While the other two siblings are looking for Max, they start hearing music coming from the distance.
Listen. What's that?
So they follow the music and they find an elevator. Jet tries to run straight into the elevator, but Nita stops him.
Wait, Max.
But Jet has kind of a smart plan. He says, our parents are in the real world. They'll know what to do. Maybe. I don't know how much parents can do in infinite hallways, but I'm sure they have like a Max tracker or something, just like on their phone. This would be like the only situation where it's okay to track your kid. But needless to say, Jet does convince her to get inside the elevator. They push all the buttons and they do the violently shaking thing again. But as they're going down, Jet notices that this elevator is red, and the one they came down in wasn't red.
The walls are different. What? They weren't red before.
But when the doors open, everything seems to be normal. Well, normal to them, but the picture that Jet put upside down is now right side up. The kids use their key to go back into their room where they find, whoa, not their parents. Luckily, this dude is really chill with them barging into their room with a key that they somehow got. But the kids apologize and they go downstairs to the front desk to ask if their parents somehow changed rooms or something. So they tell the lady at the front desk their names, and when she looks them up, they're not at the hotel. And the Boiler Man overhears this. Cut back to Max. She's still lost in the hallways and she starts hearing the monster coming after her again. So she does a really smart thing. Plays dead. But as she's laying there, we hear somebody run up to her. And when she looks up, we get to see a pair of red shoes. Nita and Jet use a computer to look up their parents. They look up their mom's name first and they find her and a phone number. So they call that phone number and she answers. But she doesn't know who they are.
And you've got 3 kids. Kids.
She's also not married to Dudley, which is the dad's name. It's kind of a funny name, actually. She's married to this random guy that never gets a name. And we know they're married because they kiss. Ew. After they hang up, the Boiler Man jump scares the kids. So we learn that the kids found something called the mini place. And all the hallways and doors seem random, but they're not as random as they seem. Every time they open a door, it opens up another line to an alternate reality. The Boiler Man explains it as a reality cluster. And if you get lost in this cluster, you're pretty much stuck there forever. That is, unless you retrace your steps perfectly or another little more dangerous way. But we'll see what that one is later. And you have to find your original elevator to get back to your reality. And we do get to see that the reality they found themselves in is a little more futuristic, which would be cool. I wish they would have like went outside the hotel or something, but I guess for budget reasons we can't see any more flying cars than this one. So the kids run back to the elevator, but the Boiler Man stops the doors from closing and tells them one last thing.
You need to know.
He tells them that ancient civilizations used to use the mini places as a prison for the unimaginables. And the one that this hotel is prison for is the fiercest one. And it doesn't get fed very often because not many people push all the buttons on an elevator because that's just stupid. And now is about the time where my mic got reconnected, so I'll see you back. So they go back to the mini places and they walk around for a pretty long time. Long enough for Jet to fall asleep with his eyes open. I mean, what? Enough for Jet to fall asleep while walking. They do go to a few other realities that are kind of cool. One is just like a warfare going on. It's just fireworks and gunshots. And one they go to is they didn't even go inside the elevator. It's just overflowing with water. It was really cool. I like that one. I kind of want to see what that one looks like. But they do land on one that looks like it's just a hotel that is completely abandoned. This is when Nita finally breaks down and starts crying. She feels completely hopeless now. They cannot find their parents, they cannot find Max, and she just doesn't know what to do. There's millions and billions of different realities that they can go to, but they'll probably never find their true reality.
Get up! Get up!
This is when Jet kind of smacks her around a little bit and tells her that you've been acting like a big kid this whole time. Why are you crying now? He tells her that she's been acting like an adult this whole time, but when things get a little rough, then she starts breaking down and crying like a little baby. For real, a nice scene for him. He kind of redeems himself from all the stupid shit he does. Still wearing that headset though, which I don't understand. That thing was heavy. But he does talk some sense into her. So she gets up and she tells him a little bit of a plan. First, they have to go find Max, because if they're going to be lost, at least they're going to be lost as a family. So they need to increase their chances of finding each other, which they luckily find a megaphone laying on the desk behind them. Like, what's the odds of like an abandoned hotel just having a working microphone right behind you? That's crazy. She also finds a crayon and then 2 sticks with big rocks on the end. And the sticks are...
That's in case the creature comes back.
Then they do something that's pretty smart. Nita goes around and marks X's on all the doors that they've already checked. Nita also marks arrows, and she marks which doors they go in and out of. While Jet opens the door, yells Max, and then pretty much closes it immediately. They do this until they get an answer. And after a little bit of searching, they do find Max.
You guys?
Max! Max!
But she's acting a little strange. They try to run to her, but before they can get to her, she says...
Don't come any closer.
She tells them that they have to close their eyes and they're not allowed to open them no matter what. She tells them that no matter what you hear or feel, do not open your eyes. I feel like the Doctor Don't Blink episode. Don't blink, and whatever you do, do not blink. Except for it's the opposite. It's like, only blink. Whatever you do, only blink. We see Max walk around the corner with something following her. Looks like she became friends with the Quinkin. The Quinkin is a pretty chill guy, actually. He only wants to eat your eyes, and he only does it out of instinct because when he sees them, he just goes after them. Apparently, they didn't find each other by accident. The Quinkin knew exactly where they were, so he led Max to her siblings. And he knows how to get them back to their true reality. I mean, I guess after living there for like all eternity, you probably know the hallways just a little bit. All they have to do for it to guide them to their true reality is to take its hand, which is not the best looking hand ever. It's kind of gross. We do get little glimpses of the Quinkin. He has hooved feet, but like human hands, and he's very hairy. Maybe it's the Goat Man. Is the Quinkin the Goat Man? As the Quinkin is leading them down the hallways, the kids do take little peeks, and we get to see them taking the peeks like it's our eyes as well. And as the doors are closing, we do get a better glimpse of the Quinkin. More like a bird, like a bird mouth, but with like sharp teeth. So they press all the buttons and make it back home. And we know this because the picture is still upside down. Thanks, Jet. Cool. When they make it back to their reality, Nita asks Max, how did she know to just close her eyes? This is when Max tells her that the blind old boiler man told her to close her eyes if she encounters the Quinkin. But the boiler man that's in their hotel isn't blind.
I guess it was a boiler man from a different reality you learned the hard way.
They noticed that she said that he told her that before they checked in, and that was before they got lost. Also, Max isn't wearing her black shoes. These ones are red. She also mentions a family vacation they went on, but they didn't go on that vacation because their grandmother died a few days beforehand. This is when Max just opens the door to their room, and we get to see that Max is already there. Apparently, the Max that's with them saved their actual sister Max, and now she wants to keep her. Like a pet, I guess.
Can we keep her, Daddy? Can we keep her?
And that's the end of the story. What? We do get a little scene with the Curious. And it looks like he is also in that abandoned hotel reality, and he's having a little bit of fun. The narrator tells us that the many places are everywhere in the world, and to remember that bad things happen to kids that press all the buttons. I'm not doing it. I'm 22 years old. I ain't pressing all the buttons in the fucking... I ain't going there. I am not going there. Really good episodes. Actually, one of my favorite episodes of Creeped Out. Kind of like The Haunting Hour. I don't watch every episode of this because I do want to keep some of them surprises. Like I haven't seen Kindle Sticks because I hear that one's also very good. But I did watch this one because it looked interesting to me when I first saw it. Everybody was like, it's the Backrooms. The Backrooms in Creeped Out. It's so cool. And they were right. It's really cool. I think they did a really good job on making the siblings seem like siblings. They do get annoyed with each other, and then they do get scared for each other, and they help each other out when they really need it. It's awesome. It's a perfect little sibling story. Let me know what you think about this episode in the comments below. Also, tell me any other Creeped Out episodes you want to see me talk about. Like the video if you like the video. I appreciate you all, and peace.